here in Santiago de Chile. So the organizers called me and they said, Mr. Lopez, we want you to design the poster that is going to be announcing the celebration of this book festival.
So like the main, like what it represents.
Exactly what it represents. So what's great is that sometimes they hire illustrators like me, which are called conceptual illustrators, to paint or represent something that sometimes doesn't even exist. Let's say that a new product is about to come out on the market. So you say, well, does it exist? And they go, no, we haven't designed it yet. So you have to say, okay, so how are we going to benefit with this new product? So the client says, it's going to make life easier. You're going to commute less hours on the freeway. You're going to be able to, whatever. They give you all the reasons why this is going to be a great product. And then I have to transform that and translate that into some kind of a visual representation of that. So that's kind of challenging, right? Because you're painting something that doesn't exist, but you're representing the qualities or the benefits that this product will eventually do. So, and of course, I paint murals. I paint community murals as well, and that's one of my favorite things. Yeah.
Did you start with chalk on the street?
I think I did. I probably did chalk in the streets. But you know what else I did? And this is gonna sound pretty crazy. But so one of my uncles used to work in a paper mill, and they had these giant rolls of paper. Giant. Maybe they were only this big, but for me at the time they were gigantic, right? Yeah. And they were destined to the trash, to the dump. So my mom talked to my uncle and said, "What do you do with those rolls?" He goes, "Well, usually we just recycle them." And I said, "Can we have one or two?" And my uncle says, "Yeah, sure, why?" And he says, So my mom brought it to our living room. She cleaned up all the furniture, and then she just pushed that roll that unfolded into this huge giant, like a mural, on the floor of our living room. And then she told me, "Go at it, kid." She's an architect. She's like, "Go ahead." So I started drawing and drawing and drawing. And it took me like about 2 or 3 weeks to do this beautiful, what I thought was beautiful, like a parade of all these animals and people and calaveras, like in Mexico we celebrate the Day of the Dead. So it was pretty surreal. So that was one of the first times I remember drawing something big, and I was maybe about 5 years old. So it's kind of like chalk on the sidewalk, but it's more like markers on this big giant roll of paper.